Day 19, and right as we were about to cover the comics featuring Riddler, Nala Bjorn wanted to start a discussion on who played the best Riddler. And I think it's time we settle this once and for all. You said your piece, now I'm gonna say mine. You can't just write off John Glover just because he was the voice actor for the Riddler in the 90s animated series. That's like writing off Kevin Conroy as Batman or Mark Hamill as the Joker just because they did their voices. I guarantee you every discussion on who the best Batman was or who the best Joker was included those two because they really made those characters memorable in their own. And the same thing goes for John Glover. He breathed life into the character. And without him, I doubt the Riddler would be as great as he is. You can't just write him off just because it's a cartoon. But I think we could both agree that the few episodes of the Riddler in the 90s animated series were the best episodes. Can we agree on that? Okay, cheers. And there's no one else to argue on that point for now. So you only want the actors who did live action iterations, but for me, number one is John Glover. You could deal with it. Now let's go over the actors who actually played him. So number one is Frank Gorshin. Great. Fantastic. Phenomenal. As the 66 series was, I think the only con regarding Frank Gorshin wasn't even him, it was Batman and Robin. Frank Gorshin, I think, is still remembered today, even by millennials and Zoomers. And what's ironic about that show is that the worst part is Batman and Robin. The villains made the show for what it is. The Riddler, the Joker, the Penguin, Catwoman, and all the others. I don't even remember. But still, he did awesome. His suit was looking clean. He had that like maniacal laugh. He had that subtle, I guess you could say, craziness about him, but he was able to still like play it cool in front of everyone to make Batman and Robin look like the fools. So for me, Frank Gorshin, if we're gonna put it on like levels, number one is John Glover, number two is Frank Gorshin. But what sucks is that he was only in season 1. In season 2, the Riddler only had one episode, or a 2-part episode, I don't remember, but it was played by the actor who was Gomez Addams in the Addams Family show at that time. And he definitely fell flat for me. He was just, he was a good Gomez Addams, not a good Riddler. You can't follow Frank Gorshin at all. Like, I mean, honestly, I don't know what they were thinking. I heard, like, he wanted more money, and the studio said no, so they chose, Gomez Addams. But then, I can't even remember in the last season of the 66 series if the Riddler even had his own episode. So, Gomez Addams is definitely at the bottom of the list. I'm not saying he's the absolute worst, but and just that episode alone was just like dumb, because at the end they're underwater and you can clearly tell it's just an effect and they're moving in slow motion. It just seems so silly. I'm sorry to digress, but you went from Frank Gorshin, iconic, right, to Gomez Addams, who just average. So John Glover number 1, Frank Gorshin number 2, and Gomez Addams near the bottom. After him, if I can recall, it was Jim Carrey. And his take on the character was bullshit. It was the 90s. he was able to get away with playing himself in every comedic role. So The Mask, Ace Ventura, Liar Liar, and Batman Forever. And that was fine, him playing himself in those other roles, like it worked, but just the Riddler, like it was just so stupid. His hair, his wig was stupid. His suit was decent, but like at the end, like when it's white and sparkly, and then like his hair is just stupid, and like when he's like, I forgot like what the riddle was, but he does his deep voice, and like Val Kilmer's like trying to sell it, like oh my god, that movie is. I mean, that movie was, as a kid, I liked it because, you know, it was either that or the animated series. I didn't know about the 66 series, but I was just like, man, like as I got older, I was like, this is really stupid. This is cool. So during the day, he's Edward Enigma and his hair's normal, but at night, he's the Riddler and his hair's like short and red. It was, oh my god, what the hell was Joel Schumacher thinking? And I just want to emphasize, because I wish I would have talked to people about the Riddler, but whenever I would see like on forums and message boards on who was the best Riddler, a lot of people would say Jim Carrey, and it's like, no, he's a great actor when it comes to like dramatic roles. Like he was good in The Majestic, he made the number 23 tolerable, but in almost every comedy role, and I guarantee you everybody will agree on this, he plays himself. He's one of those actors who he plays himself, and that's fine, but it's gonna get called out. So, my nose is itchy, sorry. The best part of Batman Forever was Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, you know. Yes, his character was a bit over the top, but at least Tommy Lee Jones knew how to like balance that. I mean, he did the best with the script he was given, and I could definitely tell why he doesn't like Jim Carrey. And I still like Jim Carrey. I mean, you know, he's fine, but he got away with playing himself for so long, and God, I can't even watch that movie anymore. Like Batman Forever is just. It should be called Batman whatever, because that's not the Riddler. That's not the Riddler. I know that's a bit, well, I mean, it's not like anyone is here to argue that, but when everyone comes back, I'm sure they're like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. I did like his cane twirl, like I thought that was cool, but just his costumes were just so, well, his costume at the end was just so dumb. But, you know, whatever. Okay, so after that, it's Corey Michael Smith in Gotham. And he did a great job as well. Like, I liked how it was kind of a slow build-up to the Riddler. Like, he did a great, what's his name, Edward Enigma. I think he did a great job, you know, playing him. He's a little, like, dorky and stuff. And then as he gets more comfortable being the Riddler, you can tell like he just did a great job. And I'm glad he did get the recognition for it, and I'm glad a lot of people realize, like, you know, the Riddler's not some like quirky, zany, silly guy. He's more chill, you know. So I definitely put him near the top. So let's go over this. So John Glover, Frank Ocean, Corey Michael Smith, Gomez Adams, Jim Carrey. I mean, there was a few like plot lines with the Riddler in the show Gotham that was just like, wait, what? But then again, that they messed up the Joker. Like, if he was our favorite villain, like I would be pissed because Jerome was perfect, and then like Jeremiah and even the characters kept saying you're just like Jeremiah. I'm sorry, Jerome, and Jeremiah's like no, I'm better. It's like get out of here with that shit. Anyways, back to Riddler. So Corey Michael Smith did a great job. He brought more like charisma because that's who the Riddler is. He's charismatic, but making it his own. And his suits were clean. Like anytime his suits was on screen, I was like, man, I would love to have that. I would have gotten you like a little a teddy bear sized suit because goddamn, that suit was nice, man. I want that suit. Obviously, it would be tailored to fit because, like Corey Michael Smith is like 7 feet tall, and I'm short, but that's fine. But yeah, I definitely put him near the top, and I feel like he is getting the recognition. And then what sucks is that we won't be able to see Paul Dano's take on the character because the Batman was supposed to come out March 4th, but because whatever's happening has happened, we do have to wait. I mean, look, everything will return, and we will get to see the movie in theaters, but we just have to wait a little longer. So we can't really go off the trailers on how his take on the character is. But he's a great actor, so we know he did a phenomenal job with it, but we can't really make it official until we see it. But like I said, just give it time. When everything goes back, we'll be able to add him to the list. So let's see. Let's just go over this again. Number 1 is John Glover, and you're gonna have to deal with that till the end of time. Number 2, Frank Gorshin. Okay. Number 3, Corey Michael Smith. Number 4, here we go. I keep forgetting his name. I feel bad for just calling him Gomez Adams, but I don't know his name. Number 4 is Gomez Adams, and number 5 is Jim Carrey. I'm trying to think if there's any more live action iterations, but I don't think so. Now regarding other Batman cartoons, I don't consider any of them. I've seen a few episodes. I don't know if it's just called like The Batman or Batman, but he's in Arkham Asylum, and he just has like a one piece like with the long skinny question mark, and he has like long hair. I thought that just looked stupid. Like, no offense to any of the voice actors, but those cartoons just are dumb. And like The Brave and the Bold was just kind of like whatever. I mean, and there was another cartoon called like Young Justice. That Edward Nygma. I think that's what. I feel like they changed it a bit. Maybe I'm wrong. But that Nygma was just like sounded like a wimp. So. Like I said, John Glover to me is the only one I care to acknowledge. If we're going to acknowledge all those other ones, we'll put them between Gomez Adams and Jim Carrey. Because Jim Carrey was the worst. And you know what? He's a millionaire. Like, our opinions don't mean shit to him, but I guess what really sucks too is that a lot of people like him. It's kind of like with Iron Man 3, which we'll get into another time, but it's like we saw Iron Man 2 and we liked it, and we know that it's not perfect, but everyone bashed it because he wasn't Iron Man enough. And then Iron Man 3 happened, and we were just like, wow, this is complete dog shit. Like, oh, that plot twist with the Mandarin, no, that's good, I didn't expect it. It's like, no, that was bullshit. And we thought, oh man, everyone is gonna bash this. And then everyone loved it, which made it worse. So I think that's why I just cannot stand Jim Carrey's Riddler. I should say Riddler, because most of the audience, at least up to this point, liked it. And I was like, no, that's, the people who don't know Riddler say that's Riddler, and it's like, no, that's not right. So yeah, that's my take on it. Those are my points. I see you like shaking your head with some, you're nodding your head in others, and that's fine. But my biggest takeaway is that you have to acknowledge that John Glover should always be in the discussions of who played the best Riddler, just like Kevin Conroy with the Batman discussions and Mark Hamill with the Joker discussions. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. So I said my piece. You are now allowed your rebuttal.